big game for Dons tomorrow, another big game. This time it's away to Salford City. Now, I would say this is our biggest game of the season to date. I really do, because if we lose tomorrow and Notts County beat Harrogate Town in the early kickoff, they'll only be 1 point behind us, and then every game after that will definitely be a must-win if we're to stay in the automatic promotion places, because Notts will have some real momentum then. And I think we need to be aware of the fact that after Notts lost to Oldham in midweek, they'll be wanting to bounce back from that result. And given that they're playing 23rd in the league, who have lost 3 of their last 4 games, there's a real chance that that might happen, or that will happen. So we need to be at our best to ensure this doesn't happen, really, that we lose tomorrow and then it's only 1 point between us and Notts County. I really don't want there to be too much pressure on this team, because I am worried that we could crack under it. I just don't want it to happen. Even though Saturday's loss to Barnet was only our second loss of the calendar year so far, it was no doubt a really worrying performance, and one which I think may have been coming over the last few weeks, because even though we have been on a really good run, some of those wins we definitely ground out. We definitely had to grind out, and yeah, I just wonder if we have been feeling the pressure recently. I think also, given the fact that we've only kept one clean sheet in our last 6 games, again, is that under more pressure that the team is feeling? Is that why we're struggling to keep more clean sheets? Because if we look back to February, for example, only last month, we kept 3 clean sheets in our 5 games. We kept 3 clean sheets in a row from our second to fourth game when we beat Newport County, drew to Crawley Town, and then we beat Wolves. So we only conceded 3 goals in the whole of last month. Whereas right now in March, with a game still left to play, we've actually conceded 5 goals so far. And just again, I'm just worried. Are we feeling the pressure? And if that's what's coming into play, how do we mitigate it? And how do we play a little bit better and try and alleviate some of what the players may be feeling, so that we can get back to winning ways again? Because Saturday's performance definitely wasn't really a good performance at all, and I don't want us to play like that again tomorrow. That's for sure. Whatever we do, we must ensure that we win the game tomorrow, and we must ensure that there's at least a 4 points cushion between ourselves and the team who's in fourth place, whether that's Notts County or whether that's a different team. I also feel like it's a must win, also given the fact that we still have faint title hopes. And if we do win and Bromley lose, I know it's very unlikely that they'll lose to Barrow tomorrow, given where Barrow are in the league and given how poorly they've been playing. But if we keep winning and Bromley fail to win 1 or 2 of their games, if they lose one of those games, then the gap could actually be 2 points again, and suddenly then it feels a lot more doable, especially if they lose before April the 11th, and then we can overtake them on that day. So that's another reason why I feel this game is a must win. And yeah, going into the game again, both ourselves and Salford City, we come into the back of similar results, really. We both lost our last game, having won our previous 4 games going into last Saturday. And for Dons, our coupon bursting loss at home to Barnet, that ended our run of 10 wins and 4 draws in the last 14, as we all know. Whereas for Salford City, a narrow loss away to Cambridge United, that ended their run of 5 wins in their previous 6 games. And therefore, both sides will undoubtedly be eager to prove Saturday's respective results to be a one-off, and it is definitely, as I've said, already, it's a must-win game, and not just for us, but also for them. They've still got, in my opinion, faint hopes of automatic promotion, and they'll want to definitely not see that be ended tomorrow. That's for sure. So we need to be at our very best. But saying that, I'm a bit worried that this could be a good time for Salford to play MK Dons tomorrow, because if I think about it, whenever we've lost this season, we've not actually won our next league game. We've actually only really done that once, and that was when we beat Shrewsbury Town after we lost to Accrington Standard the previous week. And that was actually, that loss was our final game of 4, where we lost 3 and we only drew 1. So it's not like we hadn't been losing beforehand. So, when we've lost, when we haven't been losing beforehand, we have not won the next game in the league. And I really hope that's not the case again tomorrow, but I fear that that could happen. So whatever Paul Warren does, he needs to make sure that this squad are feeling positive and ready to perform to their very best, because we can't afford to start losing games now. We've worked too hard, in my opinion, that's for sure. Saying that though, Paul Warren did hint after I lost about it that maybe Will Collar, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, Callum Patterson, and Curtis Nelson may all be available to feature tomorrow. Maybe that's from the bench. Maybe one or two of them could start. I know Curtis Nelson was off only because of personal reasons, so hopefully all that's been sorted out. I hope it has. But maybe we could see some of those players feature tomorrow, and hopefully they could be game changers for us because you know this is a massive, massive game, and I definitely feel like even though Aaron Collins has done well, we have certainly been missing Callum Patterson at times, and I don't want us to feel his absence again tomorrow when we could really do with a player like him. I also feel like, the revelation of Jack Sanders and Colin Emenhaven, the fact that their injuries that they suffered on Saturday were nowhere near as serious as we all first feared and that they could even feature tomorrow. I think that could also be another boost for us. I've rated these players quite highly, especially Jack Sanders. I think he's, I would say, our best defender. And yeah, having him in the squad is always a positive for me. He's that person will run through a brick wall for his team, and yeah, I would love to see him feature tomorrow because we'll miss him otherwise, in my opinion. That's for sure. But yeah, hopefully onwards and upwards for the Dons. Hopefully it's a one-off. Hopefully we can return back to winning ways. It won't be easy against a really good Salford City team who, as I've hinted upon, have won 5 of their last 7 games, and Carl Robinson will have a point to prove for sure against us. But hopefully we can continue our good form, and Saturday's result will just be a one-off. Yeah. If you've watched this far and you've liked what you've seen and you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Please make sure to share the video. It's also really appreciated that you've stayed this far. I really do mean that. And hopefully, when I make my next video tomorrow reviewing the game, we'll be all very happy with another 3 points. Thanks again for watching. Come on, you Dons.